All right, guys, welcome back to the Tutor Learning Center. This is JD Tutor, and I'm here to teach you video 9, how to continue with the introduction to equations. This time, we're going to do multiplication, division, and inverse operations. Please review and follow this example and then solve the equations for my homeschool students. As always, it is expected that you write down the problem, you show your work, and you answer the question. You have an answer to the question. All right, so guys, let's actually take a look back here at the inverse operations, two operations that have the opposite effect. Now, last video, we learned about such as addition and subtraction. We learned here that we had a +5 here in our problem, such as number 1. We had a +5, okay, and we had to get rid of that 5 to get the x by itself. So we had to do a -5, a -5 here in order to cancel out the cancellation method, and that cancellation method is called the inverse operation. Okay, so now we're going to take that, and as I mentioned last video, we're going to do that for multiplication. So let's look at this. You can follow this diagram right in here. All right, so let's do 4x equals 24. All right. So how to do the inverse operations is going to be to divide, right? To divide your fraction bar. Okay, but you're asking yourself, right? Well, how do I divide? And I'm only saying this because I get a lot of students asking me this. How am I going to divide when I've never even multiplied? So you actually have multiplied 4 times the x. Remember? Two numbers side by side. That was probably the second video we put out here. Any number beside each other is going to be times. So this is where you have your multiplication. So now we can go ahead and divide. Really, you're looking at 4 times x right there. So divide by what? Divide by 4. Okay. Where do I get that number 4 from? Here, a +4. So I bring that down as a +4. And I also bring that down as a +4 over here. So I'm getting these 2 4s from here. And I'm getting the sign as well. If this was a negative, this would be a negative, and this would be a negative, but they're not. All right, guys. So a 4 here and a 4 there. All right, now we can do the inverse operations and cancel these out to a silent 1x. Now, a lot of people still think that this would go down to a 0. This isn't addition and subtraction. This is not going to go down to a 0. 4 into 4 is a 1, right? And it's a silent 1. It's there, but we don't really show it. So you don't have to include it. All right. So moving on this side of the fence is going to be 24 divided by 4 is going to be 6. And this is another way of doing it right here. But the majority of time, you will see it happening like this. All right, so now let's move on. And guys, as we grow, I'm going to get faster and faster at these videos, so I appreciate your patience. So these videos are majorly mainly made for those who are struggling, who need to catch up and things like that. So, all right, but we will get faster. So let's do another one. Let's kind of take what we've learned. Actually, let me back up here for just a second. So let me explain to you about this portion of the problem. This is only a portion of the equation. So in your school, on your test or what have you, your equation may be set at different parts in the equation. You may not start at the top of the equation and go down. They may bring you in the middle of the equation or at the end of the equation. Okay. And this looks like it's more at the end of the equation right here. Okay. So with that being said, let's practice these. All right. So let's actually start at the top of the equation. So 7x, excuse me, guys, 7x plus 9. And you can follow along on the left-hand side of this problem for the Math Papa screenshot. All right, guys. So let's start at the top. So we want to get this, our ultimate goal is to get this x by itself completely, but there's a 7 attached to there. So we're going to work our way toward it, just like we always have done before. So inverse operation, that's a plus 9. So we're going to do a negative 9. Now we do our cancel out method. And we're going to do 7x. That is a 7, guys. Yes, I'm sorry. All right. And this is going to be 14. Okay. Now we're going back to this part right here. If you want to flip back, you can flip back and see how that's done. So 7x, we're going to do the inverse operation. This is a positive 7. So we're going to use a positive 7 here and a positive 7 there. All right, now we're going to cancel this to silent 1, but I'm not going to put the 1. We already know the 1 is there. Hence the reason it's silent. 14 divided by 7 is 2. All right, guys, and there we go. So this is what we're going to be mainly focusing on in today's lesson. In the last video, we focused on this portion right there. So let's do some practice problems, guys. First, I'm going to start off a little slow, and then we're going to get faster. All right, so x times 4 equals 8. Okay. So x times 4 equals 8. And we are going to do, that's a times 4. So we're going to do divide by 4. And then what you do to one side, you do to the other side. All right, then you do the cancellation method, and then x equals 2. All right, guys, let's kind of view this another way. Remember, two things next to each other are going to be times, right? But this has a times in between. All right, so we're going to do x and 4, which is going to be 4x. This is a little bit of a shortcut. Does this look familiar now? Yes, it does. There's our 4 and our 4, and it came from here. Oops. Cancellation, cancellation, x equals 2. Okay, so those are two different ways that you can do the same problem, the same outcome. So let's do number 2. All right. So actually, remember that second side on the right-hand side that I just did? Well, there we go, guys. It's just, it is this. 4x equals 8, positive 4, positive 4, positive 4, and cancel out, guys, and x equals 2. Same thing we just did on that side. It's basically this right here. All right, guys, number 3. All right, so x divided by 3 equals 5. All right, so that's a division, so we're going to multiply. Well, actually, guys, let's not use this x anymore. Let's use a dot, so that way we're not confusing the multiplication x with the variable x. All right, guys, so times 3 and cancel out. Sorry, guys, I'm still not used to this thing. X equals 15. Okay, let's do number 4. We actually can start moving along now. 4x equals 24. What do we put down here? This 4 right here, positive 4, positive 4, positive 4, cancel out, x equals 6. All right. And if you get stuck or whatever, back up the video. Okay, but we got to move on. All right. So 3x equals 27. All right. 3, where do we get our 3 from here? Positive 3, positive 3, and positive 3. And that equals 9. All right, guys, let's move on here. All right, let's go to number 6. 7x equals 35. All right, guys. Let's also do some quick math. Before we do this, let's do some quick math. 7 into 35 is 5. Quick math. But we also need to show our work. Let's show our work. I'm a big stickler on showing our work. So let's go ahead and show that by putting a 7 here. We got that 7 from here. 7, carry it over here. What you do to one side, you do to the other. Cancellation method by inverse operations. And a 5. Does that match? Yes, that matches. Let's do number 10. All right, and let's do 10x equals 90. All right, quick math. 10 divided into 90x equals 9. Let's see if we get that same outcome by showing our work. All right, guys, divide by 10, divide by 10, cancel, x equals 9. All right, guys, let's do the next few. Okay, 9, oops, we're gonna move on here. 9 equals 18, divide by the 9, positive 9. Cancellation method by inverse operations and equals 9, x equals 9. Okay, let's do number 9. 4x equals 32. Divide by 4. Divide by 4. X equals 8. All right, guys, if you did quick math, you could just do 4 into 32. All right, number 10. Okay, all right, 4x equals 28. Divide by 4. X equals 7. Quick math, 4 into 28 is 7. Okay, number 11. 7x equals 42. Divide by that 7 on both sides. X equals 6. Guys. Number 12. 2x equals 4. All right, divide by that 2. X equals 2. All right, guys, quick math, 2 into 4 is 2. And number 13, our last one. All right, divide by that 5 on both sides. Cancellation method, inverse operation. X equals 4, quick math, 5 into 20 is 4. All right, guys, we're going to end it right there. We might have a short video on the next video. Thank you for watching. Appreciate that. And let's grow together, guys. Let's grow together.